What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Other Guys on the Badlands Podcast Network. I'm Jake Chatsky, joined as always by Paul Kilgallen. Paul, we did an episode before week one, and then we didn't get to talk to the fans again until after week two. So this is our first time coming to the Badlands audience after a win. How you doing? How you feeling?
I was feeling great for, about 12 hours, especially after this morning. We got the tweet from one of the NFL guys, Rappaport, I think, that it looked like AVT was going to be okay, but in typical Jets faction, it gets quickly crushed with the news that AVT's out for the season. So, but I'm trying to remain positive. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf, not live in the mud, and be positive. We're 2-3. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, we'll get to AVT in a second, but it would not be, a Jets season if every single time there was a step forward, you take two steps back. But obviously, hope he gets healthy soon, and we'll talk a little bit more about how that impacts the team down the line. But let's talk a little bit about the game against Denver. Jets 31, Denver 21, big win. I think you and I both predicted this coming, and we both predicted pretty much the way it would happen. But give me your initial thoughts after watching that game from the comfort of what I imagine was your couch and not the upper deck bleachers of SoFi Stadium like I had to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, look, a win is a win. I'm happy about that. I never want to play in Denver ever again. There's too many bad memories at Mile High, dating back, 25 plus years at this point. I don't want to ever go back there again. And the fact that we've had to go there 3 straight seasons and we've played them like 5 years in a row, I'm done with Denver for a little while. So can we please, not finish in last and not match up with them finishing in last and not have to play them again for a little while? Please, I'm begging. Overall, look, it was sloppy. I think Salah said it in his press conference. It was ugly, but a win's a win, and it could have been a blowout. So there's a little bit of a feeling of a missed opportunity. A 10-point win in conference is fine, right? So I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it in my pocket, and I'm going to move on. The team did close out, which I was happy to see. You got some of those old familiar feelings when they started moving the ball on that final drive before the fumble, that like, here we go. They're going to march right down and kick a field goal, go into overtime, or God knows, score maybe. But they closed out. And, the guy we've been pumping all along, Quincy Williams, is the one that closed it out. And the guy everybody was worried about this week, Bryce Hall, was the one that scooped it up and scored. So all in all, pretty good. I'll talk a little bit more about this down the line, but like, I'll steal something that Salah always says in his press conferences. I want to make sure I choose my words correctly here. I love Garrett Wilson. Love him. I love his mentality. I love everything about him. I think he's super talented. He's got to catch that touchdown on the first drive after the muffed punt, and he has to at least break up the interception to Patrick Surtain on the second to last drive there. Like, it has to happen. Ideally, it's a catch, but you have to at least stop the interception. And I'm okay with the emotion and blowing up on the sidelines and scream at Zach. Do whatever you want if you're sucking everything in, right? But if you want to be a Devontae Adams, if you want to be that top 5 wide receiver, like, you got to start sucking those things in. So I'll step back off that. I love Garrett Wilson. This is not intended to say Garrett Wilson stinks or anything like that, but I'd like to see some progression there. And then, the last thing I have here is just Bryce Hall, Bryce Huff were kind of the heroes of this game. Just a little odd name play there. So I'll kick it back over to you.
Yeah, Bryce Hall, Bryce Huff, don't matter, Jets in 6. But yeah, I think to your point, the offense got off to a bit of a slower start again. And I think, when you have a superstar wide receiver, the next step in his development is, taking that leap. And granted, I will say, like, to defend Garrett Wilson here is like, he's making the best of a bad situation. Obviously, he thought he was going to be with Aaron Rodgers all this year. He's getting Zach Wilson, who has been playing better for Zach, but not necessarily like better from an objective standpoint of what you're looking for from a quarterback. I think, are we asking a lot of Garrett to say you're going to have to play corner sometimes and defend a ball when Zach doesn't put it in a perfect spot? Sure. But these are the type of things that we're going to be asking for from these Jets players, not named Zach Wilson, because he is surrounded by a lot of talent, if we're going to hope to be a playoff team this season. So I think while, obviously you're not coming off like, oh, I hate Garrett Wilson, he's got to be better at this. It's just something you're pointing out that if Garrett Wilson is going to be the top 5 wide receiver in this league, like Jets fans always talked about, this might be a thing he needs to add to his repertoire to take that next step. And so the offense, like we said, got off to a bit of a slow start. And then in the second half, they realized they have an alien in the backfield and decided to put the entire team on his back and finally cut Bryce Hall loose. We've been talking about how he's not on the pitch count anymore. What did you see from Bryce Hall out of this game? And is this just a situation of Denver's got the worst rushing defense in the league and we all expected this to happen? Or is this something you're expecting to see out of Bryce Hall throughout the rest of this season?
No, I'm expecting to see it the rest of the season. I mean, he said it in his post game yesterday that he's got his new robot knee, and there's part of me that's like, maybe he is a robot all through and through, right? I know that the guys always call him an alien. It's been said a million times. He's different, dude. There's Barry Sanders, Derrick Henry home run potential. I'm not comparing him to those players yet. It's early, but like there's that same, like every time they touch the ball, something crazy could happen. You have that same feeling with Bryce Hall. I read somewhere that, he got 177 on the ground yesterday. 145 of it was before first contact. And I think you credit some of that to the O-line. The O-line did play well in the run game yesterday, but some of it too, like, I saw a couple all 22 kind of looks where there was a guy who had Bryce Hall lined up one-on-one, 3 feet away from him, right? And never touched Breece. Like his elusiveness, his ability to plant and cut and move and then glide and not even look like he's running. He even said it in his post game yesterday. He's like, I wasn't even running full speed on that play. Yeah. Like that you still haven't seen anything yet from me. So I would say it's not an unreasonable thing to say that he's the best back in the NFL, and it's not an unreasonable thing to say that he's the best player at his position that the Jets have had. Again, going to try to choose my words carefully here, in a very long time. I'm not going to say ever yet, but like those are not unreasonable conversations to start having at this point. As far as the slow starts, look, everybody's visibly aware of it. Everybody's visibly frustrated. In the post games yesterday, to a man, everybody was like, we have to stop digging these holes. Like, it's great that we won, but this is embarrassing. We can't, this 3 weeks in a row now that we're digging these humongous holes that we have to get out of. So everybody's aware of it. Hopefully more attention continues to be paid for it. And as for the Broncos defense, look, they're still professionals. They're still, paid at the top level to do what they do. So I don't think it was a function of just their inability to resist it. I think Bryce Hall is that good.
Yeah, he's that dude. The level of disrespect you have to just be like, yeah, if they see me run 20 yards, they all just stop. Like, and he's not wrong. Like, he'll get out into open space. He was saying, all I just need is space, and he got it yesterday, and you saw the results. And, talking a little bit about the offense, there's the slow starts. There's also the lack of or struggles in the red zone. And I know that this team made a big statement of going out and winning the game for Hackett. And it was a very, Hackett got the game ball, which was well-deserved for all the stuff that he's put up with this offseason. And it's great to see the players fight for their guy. That being said, we got to talk about the red zone offense. What did you see there, and what changes do you think, because if we point them out on this show, it's clear the Jets are going to listen. What changes are you hoping to see from Hackett in the coming weeks as they continue to hone and refine this red zone offense that really has been a sticking point and has been causing a lot of those holes to be dug that you mentioned?
Yeah. Speaking of Jets listening, did you see Quincy Williams tweet out yesterday the title of our last YouTube video, which was Quincy Williams is first team All-Pro linebacker? So
see?
Quinn's
drop
listening.
that link next time. Drop the link. Let's bump up those numbers.
Yeah, so look, I hate to rain on Martini Nate parade celebration day here, but like I thought red zone was supposed to be his thing, right? Like I thought that's what he does. I thought they gave him the keys in the red zone, and that's when he did his magic, and he calls it the gold zone and all those things. They're getting there. They got to the red zone a whole bunch of times yesterday, but they came away with three every time. And so like once you get in there and, we had a couple of first and goals from like the